She was just a girl on the streets, hungry and invisible to the world around her. With torn clothes and empty hands, she whispered a simple question, "Can I play for food?" Instead of compassion, she was met with laughter, mockery, and cold stares. To them, she was nothing more than a burden, a joke to be dismissed. But what they didn't know was that behind her silence lived a gift powerful enough to silence an entire crowd. What happened next would leave everyone asking, how many talents do we ignore because of prejudice? Before the whispers and the laughter, she was just a girl trying to survive. Life hadn't given her much, no home to return to, no warm meals waiting, no soft bed to rest in. Instead, her days were marked by empty streets, the weight of hunger, and the uncertainty of tomorrow. Yet beneath the struggle, there was a spark of quiet determination that kept her moving, step by step, even when the world seemed determined to forget her. Most people who passed her by didn't notice the details. They didn't see the way her fingers tapped against her knees when she sat on a curb, as if playing notes only she could hear. They didn't notice the way her eyes lingered on every piano she passed, or how music lived inside her, even when everything else was stripped away. To them, she was invisible. But to her, every moment without food, every night spent in the cold, was another reminder of what she longed for. Just one chance to prove she was more than what they assumed. On this particular day, the hunger was sharper than usual, gnawing at her with every step. She stood outside a cafe, watching customers laugh over full plates, her stomach twisting with each passing second. And then she saw it, a piano tucked into the corner of the square, gleaming in the fading light. For her, it wasn't just an instrument. It was hope. She stepped toward it with one thought: maybe, just maybe, this could be the moment everything changed. She stood there for a moment, staring at the piano as if it were calling her. The polished keys gleamed under the light, untouched, waiting, gathering her courage. She approached, her voice trembling as she spoke the only words she could think of. "Can I play for food?" A group nearby heard her. Their response wasn't kindness, it was laughter. Sharp, cruel, echoing louder than the city noise around them. To them, the sight of a girl with dirty clothes and worn shoes asking for such a thing was absurd. They didn't see a child with talent. They saw only what they wanted to see: a burden, a beggar, someone unworthy of their time or respect. The laughter spread, joined by mocking whispers and smirks. What could she possibly know about music? One voice muttered. Another chuckled. She's probably never touched a piano in her life. The words cut deeper than the hunger clawing at her stomach, each one reminding her of the invisible walls society had built around her. Still, she pressed on. She placed her trembling fingers on the keys, her heart pounding as the crowd grew. More people stopped, some with curiosity, others with judgment in their eyes. To them, it was entertainment, a moment to sneer at the idea that someone like her could produce anything beautiful. She closed her eyes, trying to shut out the noise, but the sound of their laughter seemed to echo inside her chest. Every cruel chuckle reminded her of nights spent ignored, of doors slammed in her face, of opportunities stolen before they ever began. This wasn't just about hunger anymore, it was about dignity. The first few notes rang out, shaky at first, barely strong enough to rise above the murmurs. The crowd leaned closer, some amused, others ready to ridicule her at the slightest mistake. Her hands trembled, the weight of their expectations crushing down on her. She could almost hear the voices already forming. "See, just what we thought. Nothing." But then something shifted. She took a deep breath, steadying herself, and let the music inside her flow. The notes grew stronger, richer, filling the square with a sound that no one expected. Yet before the beauty could fully take hold, one loud, mocking laugh cut through the air, drowning the melody. Her hands faltered for a split second. The tension cracked open again. The onlookers leaned in, waiting for her to fail. For them, this was entertainment. For her, it was survival. Every second at that piano was a fight against the weight of their doubt. And as the final echoes of that mocking laugh faded, the question lingered in the air. Would she crumble under their judgment, or would she transform it into something unforgettable? Her hands hovered over the keys, the weight of the crowd pressing against her chest. She could feel their judgment like a storm gathering overhead waiting, almost daring her to fail. Another laugh erupted, sharper than before, and it cut straight through her focus. For a moment, her vision blurred with tears. Hunger, shame, exhaustion, it all threatened to swallow her whole. But something deeper stirred inside her, a memory of nights spent near broken instruments and shelters, her fingers tracing invisible notes across empty tables, clinging to music as the only thing no one could take away. She had nothing left to lose, except her voice, and this was her chance to let it speak. She pressed down, and the piano answered, not timid notes this time, but a surge of sound so powerful it seemed to silence the air itself. The melody grew, spilling into the square, weaving sorrow and beauty together in a way that stopped hearts mid-beat. Each chord carried years of struggle, each rise and fall echoing with pain turned into power. The laughter died, the smirks faded, one by one. The same people who had mocked her now stood frozen, their disbelief written on their faces. Phones lifted into the air as the crowd swelled, recording a performance they never expected from the girl they had dismissed. For her, it wasn't just about music anymore. It was defiance. Every note declared she was more than their stereotypes, more than their cruelty. She wasn't invisible, she was unforgettable. And as the final notes rang out, hanging heavy in the silence that followed, the square erupted, not in laughter, but in stunned awe. The same mouths that once ridiculed her could only whisper one word, prodigy. As the last note faded into silence, the crowd stood still, caught between disbelief and awe. The same faces that had mocked her minutes earlier now wore expressions of shame, wonder, and quiet respect. For the first time that day, she wasn't invisible. She was seen, not as a burden, not as a joke, but as a human being with a gift too powerful to ignore. Some dropped coins and bills into the small box beside her. Others whispered apologies with their eyes, though none dared to say the words aloud. Yet she didn't play for their pity or their approval. She played for herself, for the hunger in her stomach, for the years of being overlooked, and for every child who had ever been told they weren't enough. When she finally rose from the piano, she carried no food, no promises of a better tomorrow. But she walked away with something far greater proof. Proof that talent and worth are not determined by where you sleep at night or the clothes you wear. Proof that dignity can survive even the harshest cruelty. But her story is more than a moment in a crowded square. It's a mirror held up to all of us. How many prodigies have we walked past without noticing? How many lives have been crushed under judgment before they ever had a chance to shine? This wasn't just her song. It's the song of countless voices silenced by poverty and prejudice. And the question remains, when the next unseen talent steps forward, will we laugh again, or will we finally listen?